Hello, listeners. You know me, maybe? Maybe you will. My name is Rory. I want to lose 30 more pounds this year and make 30,000 more dollars. My company keeps hiring younger and younger creatives, and I'm starting to feel pretty old. I just had my birthday on Saturday. I bought a shirt with seagulls and anchors on it, dressed up like a sailor with a cap and a corncob pipe, and I went to the children's aquarium and then got sushi. So recently I got an Alexa. I got an Amazon Dot. Alexa, stop! So Alexa thinks I like classical music, and I haven't corrected her because I think it makes me feel distinguished. My girlfriend doesn't believe it. I just let it play. When Alexa can't answer my questions, I punish her by making her play Smash Mouth. Maybe next time I ask for the mating habits of Portuguese man-o-wars, she'll capitulate. There's a great little store just south of Salt Lake City called Nature where they sell like bones and mounted bugs that have been preserved, and even like wet specimens like fetuses in jars. It's like the coolest place. I go there because I really dig bugs, and I have some pet praying mantis that I ordered. They're like ghost mantis, so they're, I don't know, North Africa? Madagascar? No, Central North Africa. Central to North Africa. So I have ghost mantis. When you buy stuff from that store, he gives you what he calls his free gift, which is like $5 or under dollar things. So my girlfriend picked up owl pellets, which I thought was super gross and kind of a grab bag. You don't know what you're going to get. And I was like, I don't want to go through some owl vomit. So she goes through it, and she finds one owl pellet has, and they're not real big, but they're big enough, 2 full mouse skulls. Like, totally, like, intact mouse skulls. And then she starts dissecting him and, like, pulling him, cleaning him out. And here's the thing that blows my mind. All of the undigested fur, because it's just a big gray kind of oblong shape, the owl pellet. All of that undigested fur is inside of the mouse skull. Which means that when an owl eats a mouse, it eats all the flesh and all of the brain matter inside the skull, and then all that fur gets compacted inside of that empty skull, which means owls turn mice inside out and then throw them up. That's the most metal thing I've ever heard. So props to owls. Super metal. My friend recently, he thinks he's trolled me, but I'm pretty sure that my friends don't know what trolling is. They think trolling is just disagreeing, arguing. Just if someone argues with them, they're it's driving me crazy. So every time I post something, and I've been posting a lot of political stuff because that's just the culture we're in right now, he'll post in all caps, "Wrong, sad." You can't jump out and yell, "Gotcha," then start telling people how bad you got them. Like you got you good, got you real good. I yelled, "Gotcha!" You didn't see that coming. You look dumb. You didn't refute any of my points. You're just spamming me, right? Like, people just don't know what trolling is. Trolling isn't harassment. I think trolling is perpetuation. It's forcing someone to make an emotional reaction, especially repeatedly. And you're trying to get them to do that in response to something that you know is false or you know is stupid, like arguing just an obviously wrong point, or you just don't have any vested interest in what you're arguing for. Like, you don't really care about the argument, but they're so flustered you keep it going and keep them arguing with you. That's trolling, to me. To force someone to get flustered for no reason. And trolling only works if the person falls into the trap. If they commit to arguing with you when they don't need to. Like, the biggest thing, I tell people this every day. If you don't want to be trolled, don't respond. If you see someone post something on the internet and then you disagree with it, just say, you know what? That's their opinion. I don't need to be involved. Why? They don't care what I think. I don't care what they think. Why would I spend my time arguing with them? Just don't respond. You can't be trolled if you don't respond. Just be like, cool, that's your opinion. That's fine. And if people keep baiting you on your own Facebook or your own Twitter or whatever, you can ban them. That's fine. You don't need to talk to them. They don't need to talk to you. They're just trying to get a rise out of you for their own entertainment. That's how you avoid it. And saying wrong sad on every post I make for a week and a half is not trolling me. It's just bugging me. So maybe he did troll me. I didn't respond to a lot of them. I responded to enough of them. Maybe he got me. Okay, all right, Rob, you got me. One of my coworkers that I really, really like left today for a different job with one of the other guys that had left earlier. They had started their own company. And he came up to everybody and he kind of said, you know what? He said to me, he's like, Rory, I know you make a lot of inappropriate jokes and I don't always laugh, but I was always laughing internally. And I really appreciated it. And he said goodbye to everybody, sent out a company-wide email. And then as he stepped out, someone started a slow clap, like this. Just this slow clap. And everyone started getting in on it, and we're all doing this slow clap, right? And he's walking out, and he's got a big smile on his face. But we never increased the speed of the clap. It's just this slow clap for like the 2.5 minutes it takes him to leave. So he's leaving. We slow clap him out of the building. And he's leaving, like going out the door. Now he's outside walking to his car. And we're just kind of still slow clapping. From now on, if someone starts a slow clap, someone has to take the initiative and set the tempo to increase the speed of that slow clap. Otherwise, it's this funeral dirge. And it was the most depressing, sad thing I've ever seen as someone got slow clapped out of the building on their last day. Don't do that. Come up with a better plan. So I've been rethinking kind of like what is my culture. I'm a white guy in America. I was born between 80 and 90, so I feel like there's got to be something there. Because I'm identifying with a lot of these guys that are similar to me. Like, on the internet, this whole movement of trolls and Pepe and all this stuff, these old 4chan people, like, I'm right there with them. We're all about the same age. We cared about video games 10 years ago, now we care about politics, and we've basically ruined politics immeasurably for at least the next 4 years. And I started thinking about it, and I think a lot of it comes from the political climate of how we were raised. And I think in the late 80s, the USSR had fallen, and the new boogeyman was nuclear waste. So while adults were fearful of radioactive sludge in their drinking water, it had seeped into our collective unconscious, this idea of radioactive waste and environmentalism, and it manifested as something fun that marketers could sell to kids. So, like, everything I did was slime-based. I drank Ecto-Coolers. I watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Toxic Crusader, The Real Ghostbusters. Nickelodeon was a shrine to slime. I mean, everything was slime-infested. Gak Worshipping Glory was Nickelodeon. Their logo was a picture of just splattered slime. Every toy came with a bottle of some kind of slime that oozed out of some orifice or allowed you to construct some gelatinous creation. Do you remember creepy crawlers and making the gooey skin on the Terminator robots? It was like goo factories. So I think me and people like me are the slime generation. And the slime generation just doesn't care about what you think because we're just sliming people. We think it's great. I don't know. Maybe that's it. The slime generation. Just a quick reference. I just wanted people to know that the Swedish chef Muppet has human hands, not Muppet hands, and it freaks me out. I like etymology, the study of language and how language changes. The English words for father and mother come from the Latin pater and mater. If you want the etymology of patriarchy, it comes from patriarch, which means male head of the household, like pater, patriarch. It's all related. But as it turns out, papa and mama are universal words for parents in almost every language. It doesn't matter if you're speaking Spanish or Chinese, papa and mama are universal. And I never really considered it, but the words are universal through a linguistic anomaly called false cognates, which are words that sound similar and have similar meaning, but are completely coincidental. There's no common root origin. So, experimenting and looking it up, it comes from babbling babies doing baby talk, where they can only pronounce a couple noises, they only a couple sounds. Specifically the p sound and the m sound, and then obviously, because they scream it every day. The soft M usually is the feminine. The hard P is attributed more to masculine. So parents looking for recognition from their baby see those words as references to themselves. So rather than a baby's first word being mama or papa in relation to their mother or father, usually through goading from the parents, the kid was just going to say it anyway, and the parents hijacked the baby nonsense to bring attention to themselves. Because it's all about you, isn't it? I mean, it's selfishness. It's like, oh, he said papa. He was going to. The baby was going to say mama and it was going to say papa, regardless if you were there or not. It's just baby talk. That's cool, right? It's interesting. You know how restaurants are always furiously washing dishes? There's always some poor guy in the back just washing the shit out of dishes. I think that's because restaurants don't actually have enough dishes for the whole restaurant. They have enough to accommodate service that night and enough for the kitchen to produce new dishes. But any more would be a waste. You'd be spending money on products you don't need and storing it in space you don't have. Instead, they have just enough and keep it in constant circulation through their dishwashers. I think we need to apply that strategy to our own lives. Everybody go into your kitchen, throw away all the cups and dishes you don't need, start doing the dishes as they get dirty, because you can't just grab a new one. I've got this all figured out. Just take all your dishes, throw away half. You need 4 tops. 1 for you, 1 for your best friend, and then 2 for company. And then just keep those 2 in circulation, and the 2 others, just store them, and you're fine. It's all you need. I think I discovered a way to cure racism. Generally, racists don't think they're racist. I don't know why someone would say, yeah, I'm totally racist. That seems like a crazy thing for people to think. I think people think they're the good guy, generally. So, if racists don't think they're racist, they just think they're more informed. They think they have better insight. They think what they're saying is based off facts or their reality or something. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. They have some kind of crazy justification. So my solution to get those people to realize the mistake and why they're racist and to end being racist is just, whenever they say something like that, agree with them as loudly as you can. Just start saying the most absolutely insanely racist stuff and then just start nodding and shouting, you know it, brother, rise up, I agree. And just spout the most racist things you can that are obviously stupid, obviously false, and as racist as possible. And they're going to look at you and think to themselves, oh man, this person's racist. But he agrees with me? Does that mean I'm racist? Congratulations, you ended racism. I think the goal is to point it out. Say, like, this is what you sound like. Like, you're over the edge. Because it happens to me where I say stuff that I think is true. And then if the wrong kind of person agrees with me, I get really concerned. I'm like, I don't want to be lumped in with this person. Is this how I sound? I have an idea for a high-end boutique bookstore. So, generally, okay, I'll explain it out. It's like a high-end restaurant that has a very limited menu, but everything is really, really good, so you can trust it. I want to do that, but for a bookstore. I'm going to do a very small hand selection of books, just like one version of the each book at a time on the shelf. Just do maybe like 6 to 9 books in the whole store, just laid out. Maybe like 3 nonfiction, 3 fiction, and maybe like 3 young adult and children's. Although they're not labeled as that, I don't want people to have, pre-assumptions about like being turned off by genre. I want people to know that all the books are good. So imagine a store where everything is good. Imagine just a few books, all vetted, that would give you endless insight and joy that you would like to read for yourself. And the store could feel intimate and personal, and the experience would be better. And there'd be a single person at the counter ready and wanting to talk to you about the book you've picked up. And what would be really great is there's just one person working the store. They've read all the books, and they want to talk to you about it. They want to get you excited. And they want to give you that personalized experience that you don't get at a big bookstore. So I couldn't compete with big box bookstores for selection, or online bookstores for price. But I can beat them both on the book buying experience. High-end, boutique bookstore with just a few books. Little, cute, little, clean bookstore. That's my idea. Okay, I'm going to get into this. This is my big point that I was kind of leading into and why I decided to do this in the first place. I think we're leaving we're leaving how we do politics, and we're moving to something else. And I'm calling it a celebtocracy. Not a celibacy, because I think community would collapse if everyone was celibate, but celebtocracy. I think that we worship celebrities, and I think it's gotten to a point where it's kind of absurd. Because I'm honestly, I'm happy with the presidential election this year, not because I think Hillary Clinton is a lizard person, but because I'm convinced that Donald Trump isn't. He's not the politicians that we're stuck with. We finally had an alternative, and I said, screw it, let's give it a shot. I obviously wanted Bernie. I think a majority of people wanted Bernie. Then there were some shenanigans. We ended up with Hillary. And then I just said, I get what you guys are saying. I get you guys don't like Trump, but I'm not going to switch boats. I already decided I didn't want to do that. So I'm going to stick with Trump just because because all the people I hate him. So the LDS Church hates Trump. Republicans hate Trump. Annoying people hate Trump. Hippies hate Trump. Annoying girls with nose rings and pink hair that complain all the time hate Trump. So I generally default with liking him because that just appeals to me. Generally, Trump, I think I see the same thing everybody else sees. He's just a pompous, crazy jerk, and he's loud and obnoxious. But give him a shot. I don't know, whatever. I'm not too worried. He's putting together a cabinet that's as Republican as any Republican would put together. I'm checked out. I don't care anymore. So I'm not really going to dismiss or belittle Trump. I think plenty of people are already doing that, and virtue signaling how he may or may not be their president. But spoiler alert, he is. So the Democrats spent the first 6 months of 2016 trying to convince the American people that Donald Trump was in fact Donald Trump. They just kept saying, hey, look at this. This guy's Donald Trump. And then people supporting him at the Republican conventions are saying, yeah, he is. That's Donald Trump. And I think that even at the Republican debates, they'd point and say, but that's Donald Trump. You can't elect Donald Trump. And you can't do it because his status as a celebrity should disqualify him from any serious consideration for the highest office in our nation. And quite literally the world, right? But what they fail to understand is how new media has changed the dissemination of information among the American people. Between curated information, branded and packaged based on your own personal tastes, and being able to search for specific details you can copy and paste into the comment field of your platform of choice to give the illusion of fact-checking, people saw what they wanted. The information age hasn't given us more information. Instead it's offered us more personalized information. It's given us echo chambers and confirmation bias because it's what we want. That's new media, right? Don't give me a bunch of information, just give me the information I want. And they say, okay, what do you want? It's like, well, I want stuff that's pro-Trump or I want stuff that's anti-Trump. And then they serve it up. So people become extremely partisan. Even the thing that nagged Trump the most, which was his big issue, which is so stupid. It was an Access Hollywood quote where he bragged that his celebrity status was so great that women allowed him to kiss them and possibly even grab them by the pussy. Ignoring the line just for a second, I'm not arguing whether he was confirming that he had committed sexual assault or if he was bragging about how much consent he had if he wanted to do that, which are both arguments that people are making because we don't really know what the fuck he was talking about. Is think about the context of the source, because that to me is the bigger news. That the biggest thing that we know about Trump, between everything he's done in his entire history, it was an Access Hollywood, a hot mic in a trailer outside of a television set, bragging about how rich and famous he is. That person was running for president. That our biggest dirt was Access Hollywood, a hot mic, TV trailer, bragging about rich and famous celebrity status. He's a celebrity. We're not dealing with political news. We're dealing with celebrity gossip. So new media channels don't like facts. Facts are boring. They don't sell tabloids. People like gossip, and this was some hot gossip. They want their news punctuated with emotion. They want to see the interpersonal relationships of famous people and of other celebrities. They want information that comes with the affirmation of how they should feel about that information. Drama makes good theater, and Trump is good theater. I think the Democrats especially made the wrong assumption of how they should go about kind of breaking down Trump as a candidate. They attacked his character But that ended up growing the narrative without control of how that information was framed, because normally I think that when you get political news, you get it through political channels. When you get celebrity gossip, you get it through celebrity gossip channels. When you're getting your politics through celebrity gossip channels, you're going to not be as informed. But you're not going to be... the information's not as partisan. It's more raw. It's there's less journalism there, but the information's more raw. It's why BuzzFeed released that dossier that's obviously to anybody who spent 10 seconds trying to look at the sources they had, nonsense. CNN would never run with that, but they would allude to it, and they would use it to break down Trump. They'd say, we have this dossier. It's very embarrassing, but we're not going to show it to you because it's not substantiated, but we have it. BuzzFeed says, show it to him. It's crazy. And then it makes CNN look stupid because they've been quoting it for so long, and they've been quoting something that's obviously BS. I think the Democrats failed to attack him on policy because he didn't seem to have very much policy, and the things he did have policy on were very unclear. So, with no political history and no real policy to attack him on, character assassination was the only thing they could do. But they'd spent so long convincing the American public that this is Donald Trump, you realize that when all they can attack him on is, well, Donald Trump did some Donald Trumpy thing. People go, yeah, I expect that. You just convinced me it's Donald Trump. Now I finally agree with you. Yeah, it's Donald Trump. Well, Donald Trump apparently doesn't respect women, and he's a billionaire, and he's an 80s business guy. And they're like, yeah, we know, you told us that. And I think that makes people crazy, because they're saying, that should exclude him, that should disqualify him. And they just go, well, it didn't. So, do you have anything else? And they say, well, it's not clear on policy, so we can't attack. It's just, it's all crazy. I'll leave you with this. Out of all of this stuff, if Trump can be president, anyone can be president. So don't let your memes be dreams, and go be president. Thanks everybody for listening, if you did. You got this far. Thanks a lot.